Well, hello, everybody. I'm Al. Welcome to CiNEMACHiNE, and I'm here with Brandon.
Hello there.
And Brian is taking the night off conveniently.
No sports that I know of.
No, but lawyers are involved. We'll get it taken care of. Don't worry, guys. Brian will be back soon. But tonight we're gonna have a good show. So Brandon, how are things, man? Anything going on in your world?
Not much different. Work life, family life, pod life, or YouTube life. I don't know. Ryan always gets upset when I say pod now because we're not a podcast. We're a YouTube show. So.
Whatever. Pretty basic here. Got some movies coming out this weekend, one of which I'm interested in seeing. Don't know, I'll make it to the theater. We'll talk about that later. We've got some big news in the movie world. We'll get into that right now in a second. But I watched a couple movies for a second time, including The Batman. So, which I didn't think I'd see so soon, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But first, we have some big news.
Well, first, we need to hit socials because I know really... Ryan's not here, but...
Okay, go ahead and tell everybody how they can get in touch with us.
Well, I would, but my screen... Okay, there it goes. It just turned off. Now it's back on. All right.
Off to a good start.
So you can find pretty much everything that we have at CiNEMACHiNEpod.com. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when we're going live. And you can follow CiNEMAChine at pretty much all the main social platforms. Probably going to be the most active on Instagram. And then we also are on Patreon. So if you are a patron of ours, we appreciate that. And if anybody wants to throw us some change over there, feel free at CiNEMAChiNEpod. That's it.
Yeah. Want to say hello to everybody out there that's watching us live and everybody that's watching us later. What's up, Tony? Thanks for joining us. So let's get into the big news. Amazon.
Heard of them.
Behemoths out in the world that we're all owned by now. MGM just gave in and decided just own us for $8.5 billion. Yeah. I don't think this was a surprise. We said this might be happening like a month or so ago.
Yeah.
I will say this really does heighten Amazon's library. They now have more than 4,000 film titles and 17,000 TV episodes, 180 Academy Awards, and 100 Emmy Awards. That's pretty stout. I think Amazon is winning the day as far as streaming right now. And we'll have some news on another streaming service here in a minute. But were you surprised by this? Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? How do you see this?
I mean, it's kind of inevitable for a lot of these studios that aren't, subsidiary companies of already bigger companies or other studios. Right now, I wasn't as surprised. Like you mentioned, we'd already kind of caught wind that it was possibly a thing that was going to happen. MGM isn't a studio that's like one of the top, the biggest of the studios. I mean, when you think studios, as far as the bigger ones, you think Warner Brothers, Disney, Paramount. Those are probably the biggest three, I would say. And then, there's some smaller ones, not small, but, some competitive ones. But yeah, I mean, Amazon they're like a lot of other companies, just gobbling up as much as they can, getting IP.
I would
And as far as, go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, as far as like MGM IP, obviously Bond is probably the biggest one, which is why I kind of include that on the thumbnail. But I know that the Broccoli family said that they would still keep Bond theatrical, which Amazon still does theatrical stuff.
Mhm.
But so it's not like they'll have exclusive,
But it's
Bond.
inevitable. Everything will be streaming eventually. I think movie theaters are an experiment. We've talked about it ad nauseum. We don't need to get into that, but I do believe that MGM is one of those things everybody notices the roaring lion at the beginning of the movies and such.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a classic
but
little intro.
it is. Have you ever seen how that was filmed?
Yeah.
It's pretty scary in my opinion. So, yeah, they've re-recorded it a couple times, but so the thing is, in this article, they reference the classic movies of MGM. So I'm just going to go over some of them, and as you were saying, let's compare and contrast this. This is the roster. They said 12 Angry Men. Oh, classic. On and on. Criterion. Seen it a bajillion times. Love that movie. Um, that's awesome. The Roaring Lion scared Tony's son so bad as a kid.
Nice.
Man, that's adorable. So 12 Angry Men, great movie. I think that we can all say that's classic. All right. So then it kind of goes off the table a little bit. All right. Their next movie is Basic Instinct. It's a noticeable movie, but for the wrong reasons, not for the artistic, for the, I guess, racy scene with Sharon Stone. So like that's one that they were Moonstruck. Do you even know what Moonstruck? I know what Moonstruck is. Do you know what Moonstruck is? Are you
Yeah.
familiar? Okay. Raging Bull, Silence of the Lambs, Thelma and Louise, and more. That's that's their list. So it's like
Now,
it's
this is, to be fair, this is whoever wrote this article naming these properties,
sure, yes.
not
But what I'm saying
Amazon
is
saying, we've got these guys.
right. But I'm just saying that
There's
that's what
also some that at the beginning of this article that were mentioned. Obviously, the James Bond stuff, and then Rocky and Hobbit, RoboCop,
RoboCop, classic,
Pink Panther, Stargate.
Fargo. Um, I would say that I mean, RoboCop, of course, the most famous movie of all time that you've never seen, and uh, I don't know. There's a great deal of property here. However, I I wonder if this is a way for them to kind of stop putting out as much original content because this is a hefty price tag.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially when this was a few years ago, but when Disney bought Lucasfilm, they bought it for like $4 billion, I think.
yeah,
And that's Star Wars and other, Indiana Jones.
and everybody thought that was a big deal. Everybody's like, "My gosh," you know.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, Disney bought everybody. They bought Fox and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So, I see this kind of stuff is going to start happening. You get these cajillionaire companies that are going to just start buying everything up, and they are going to start messing around with these franchises. That's just what they're going to do. I have a feeling, I mean, we're going to see. I have a feeling we'll see a RoboCop TV show. I have a feeling. And I have a feeling we'll probably see like a Rocky somewhere in that storyline somewhere. TV show without Sylvester Stallone. I think we'll get that eventually.
We already get that with the Creed stuff, but
I'm saying my TV show, like, I mean,
yeah.
not just a movie. So, but I don't know. I really do hope they don't beat a dead horse because it seems like they are going to beat a dead horse here. And But they bought it. They can do whatever they want to with it. We just have to
You
kind of sit.
bought it.
We have to sit by and watch them destroy our memories. So
I don't care. You still have your memories.
I don't know. There's some movies. There's some people. I mean, I don't really. That's why I don't even go see stuff like Ghostbusters Afterlife or the 2016 Ghostbusters stuff like that. I don't need to see that because I've already seen the better Ghostbusters movies, and I don't want to
You
remember
don't
it
know if you
differently.
haven't seen it,
I'm pretty sure I know from
but
the
you can't
from,
definitively state it.
but I don't need to see it because they're never going to catch that lightning in a bottle again. Just never going to do it. Like the Ghostbusters Afterlife is not a ghost. It's a Ghostbusters skin on a drama, and Ghostbusters is a comedy. But what I'm saying here is
So you
that
saw it?
I don't need to see it, but it is a drama. It is a drama with a little bit of comedy. I've heard enough people talk about it to say that. Um, and people that are like big Ghostbusters fans. Um,
All the Ghostbusters fans that I've heard that have seen
I
it
think those
loved
are
it.
mostly people that just like dressing up in Ghostbusters, not people that actually care about the movies as
I think
much.
somebody that's going to dress up in Ghostbusters outfits loves
That's not true.
Ghostbusters.
I think people like to look at themselves. They think they're cute for social media and stuff. I don't think that means you're a fan necessarily. I think it just
I don't
means you
know if
like
you're going to
dressing up.
go the whole length of buying legit cosplay, buying the ghost traps and I don't even know what they're called, the little backpack things, the blasters and all the like
Proton packs.
proton packs. I'm not a big Ghostbusters fan, so I'm not.
Oh, I know. But no, it's not just Ghostbusters. I'm just saying that some people have said that certain movies, not Ghostbusters necessarily, but some movies have kind of, I would say The Matrix, for instance. I've heard some people say that the many Matrix sequels have kind of watered down The Matrix for them. Not everybody, but some. I would use that example. So I just hope they don't just keep kicking this can down the street. I really want to see some new, like, creativity out there, and I just don't know that. I just don't know that they can do it. They being Hollywood in general, but
Well, you do see it. It's going to be on a smaller scale. The fact is the return on investment is just not there for them to spend big money on big properties that are new IP. Usually, unless you've got like a big name behind it, like Christopher Nolan or somebody that's got or star power or whatever it is. That's really the only way to do it.
well, that's what you say. But all these movies that are big IPs were one time, well, a lot of them anyway, not all of them, but a lot of them were very small. Like,
Yeah, but we're in
I
a
think I
different
can
time
type.
now.
Yeah,
People aren't.
but
People
that's what I'm
just aren't.
saying. If we didn't have studios that were willing to give the Ivan Reitmans of the world or the John Hughes of the world or whatever chances, we wouldn't have. I mean, for instance, um, the Ninja Turtles movie. Okay, Ninja Turtles was a big cartoon, but the original Ninja Turtles movie shut down production. Like,
I don't know.
oh, okay,
Thumbs down.
thumbs down. Thanks, Caesar. Anything in particular? Thumbing down. Just don't want to catch a ride.
Could be the MGM. Could be us in general.
Could be my opinion. Whatever. But no, that movie was shut down a couple times. The director was fired.
Dave's in the house.
What's up, Dave? No need to be apologetic for being late. No, perfectly fine. Glad to have you. But movies like that were shut down. Ghostbusters was like that movie was just kind of like a sarcastic blah blah blah. Is it going to work or is it not? It was a weird idea from Dan Aykroyd, and then they worked on it together. He and Harold Ramis and such. And so it's just all these little movies that became these big IPs. Now they weren't always like these big IPs that we know them as. Rocky is a great example of that. I mean, look at that story. I mean, Sylvester Stallone was thrown around Hollywood, and told he wasn't good enough to be in movies. He was ready to quit, and he insisted on writing and starring in and all that stuff. So that's what I'm saying. I hope that we get back to some of that. And some people do that. I would say Blumhouse is a good home for stuff like that to a certain degree. Um, and even though I didn't like The Invisible Man, that movie, although an IP, was done differently on a small budget, but made a ton of money. It was a think I can't, like kind of like an engine that could movie. Um, but I mean, heck, what was oh shoot, what was the movie we liked so much from him?
Upgrade.
Upgrade. That was another movie. I mean, that movie really blew our minds, for a little bit. So, and now
Yeah.
it's just all these little think I can movies.
Yeah, well, that's
I
what I
would
was
like to see
saying.
more of that.
There still are those movies that are doing that. They're taking fresh ideas, doing them on a smaller budget, and they'll continue to do that, especially with the you know with streaming being mainstream these days and accessible, and it's a better outlet for those types of movies. But what you're saying about like there being no Ghostbusters when Ghostbusters came out and these other properties that were the foundation of things that we're still recreating these days. It's just
Right.
I get that. It's just it was a different time. They had the space to make those movies. They didn't have as much competition. Now it's just like every day there's a new
Right.
movie coming out, and
It's
so
basically social
it's hard for
media.
things to cut through. It's just like music. Like you had,
Right.
there was only
Yeah,
like a
music.
handful of bands that were like known, like big
Mhm.
bands back then. And now there's not really a lot of big bands. There's like smaller bands that have indie, fame, but they don't
Yeah.
really cut through because with the invention of, streaming, everybody can throw their stuff out and it's just like it's flooded. So
I do
you only
think
see like pop stars and things that are going to appeal to masses and masses of people that will kind of break through that, that wall of just below superstardom, so to speak, or
what's up, everybody?
monumental success. And I say it all the time, like repeat viewings are what make things cultural icons. Like
Mhm.
as far as being part of that cultural zeitgeist. And there's just not enough time for any movie to really, at least for me. Maybe other people are different, but I just don't have the time to repeat watch things. There's too much stuff on my list I want to
Yeah.
get to. And then with long form TV, it's like, oh, I got like 10 episodes of this. And so that
Yeah, I
takes a lot of
think
your free
that's why
time.
I've kind of pushed back a little bit on, okay, I've got all this stuff I want to see, I'm interested in. I'm about to start that show Severance. There are enough episodes in now to where I can just watch a few, watch the whole
Is that
season.
the Apple?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost started it the other day. I think they're like 6 or 7 episodes in. I'm not sure how many episodes they're going to be, but I agree with what you're saying. I'm just saying that I hope that we don't continue. I do believe that eventually, maybe it'll take a few years. Maybe I'll be dead, whatever. And a lot of people will be happy. But the thing is that I believe
Come on now.
it's
Come on.
true. It's true. Uh, I believe that eventually this will get to where people start tuning out and the studios don't know what to do. So their
Well,
next,
that's kind of the answer, though, isn't it? It's like whenever the money isn't coming in, that's when, because they're not going to continue to spend tons and tons of money on properties. If it's like even existing IP that if they're
right.
not getting their money back, it's like, all right, maybe
Oh,
we should just
absolutely.
stop.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to spend $8.5 billion if they don't have 1,000 plans here. But technically, the numbers aren't so good for Disney Plus. Like their numbers are not what they want them to be, and so technically, um, the purchase of Star Wars was a great success for them, but maybe the purchase of Fox hasn't paid off just yet. I would say Star Wars has paid off in the theme parks and in theaters more than it has. I mean, like everybody tunes in for those shows on Disney Plus. Boba Fett, not as much. I heard. Uh, no, we don't get to see numbers on that necessarily, but from just the scuttlebutt, Mandalorian's
I
big,
think
but
two of those episodes brought people that weren't plugged in, because those two episodes, the Mando centric ones, really. I did read somewhere, I don't remember the numbers, but they did say that it was those episodes, and I think maybe the finale was hit some records for them, because I would have to imagine because of
Right.
the two episodes that came before it.
Right. And but what I'm saying is that we don't know. We haven't seen this exactly proven just yet. This is still a crapshoot, is my point.
Yeah.
So much content out there, and it's head spinning. I give up trying to watch everything. Very, very good point, Dave. I have to
You
push
can't.
back
There's no
to.
way.
Yeah,
There's no
if you
way.
did, you'd have to clone yourself. Um, Al wouldn't be the same without you, bud. Thank you. Can you tell my mom? No, I'm just kidding. So, my mom and I are great.
She's
So
the one. She's the only one.
yeah. So no, it's not a matter of, oh, this is yeah, I would like to have it my way. I get it. Not my way is not the majority way. Um, I get that people want something flashing on screen every 3 seconds. I get that. It's hard to. I'll be honest with you. We'll peek in on the Batman for just a second. The Batman, I was so surprised that people, when I asked you guys, is this movie doing well? Because I didn't know, or after I saw it the first time, I was so surprised people liked that movie, because it seems like nowadays people just like pow, 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 pow. And that's why I don't like movies where it's just constantly just like adrenaline the whole movie. I like to just kind of, you know, ease my way into movies. I also don't like the 3 hour time on there, but for that particular movie. But the deal is like, for instance, and this is not a knock. I want to make sure everybody knows that. For instance, that's one of the main reasons I don't get along with Zack Snyder movies. It's high octane the whole movie from a lot of his movies, and I like to kind of creep into the story and get to know the characters a little bit. But it's just like, like Man of Steel is just like is the whole movie, and so it's just not my thing. So I'm not
I don't.
crapping on him. I'm just saying.
I don't. I mean, obviously, I don't agree, but um, I mean, the last action sequence is nonstop action. I'll give you that, but there's a lot. Like, you can't, like, kids. That's not really a kid movie. Like, kids lose interest pretty quickly
Which
with Man of
one?
Steel.
Man of Steel.
Because there's not really there's superhero stuff. There's like an action sequence at the beginning. There's really nothing until the end of the movie, not superhero related, at least, because it's very much an origin story. It's a slow burn.
Tony says, I usually just watch what people have seen and recommend. I mean, that's, and Dave, sometimes good payoff due to that. Yeah, I mean,
It's good to have people that you line up with sensibility wise, but still,
yeah, I don't
even
line up
then,
with
like, nobody's
anybody.
gonna like everything that you like. I mean, and I try to approach any kind of review that we do as, this is just my thoughts, and if you were interested in seeing this movie, see it, because you might like, just like the Batman. Like, I was kind of in the middle of the road on that, but obviously a lot of people like it. And so,
Yeah, I'm still surprised that it's as popular as it is. I mean, I'm hey, that's good, but just surprised because of the pacing and all of that. But anyway, I just brought that up because it's the newer thing. And again, I'm not crapping on Zack Snyder. I'm just using that as an example because they're both Batman and superhero movies. So, um, but anyway, I do hope. I will say that I think you and I have both said on this show that we both appreciate the original movies from Amazon quite a bit, the few that we've seen, and I see them as more theatrical films, more so than a Netflix or whatever. They kind of, they really do make them feel like a real movie. Whereas
yeah,
a lot of the Netflix movies still like made for TV movies or just a tier above that. So,
a lot
um,
of it is a dumping ground for them too, for studios. It seems movies that they don't feel super confident theatrically, they'll sell to Netflix, and they welcome it because they want content.
Oh yeah. Just it's basically like buying social media post at this point. So, did you guys see the Tinder bar on Amazon? I did not. Brandon, did you see that? I know
that's another one that's on my list.
check
I was
back
very
in
much interested
2025.
in seeing it. Sorry, what?
Yeah, I was actually at a record store, the record store that Ryan frequents, Waterloo, and this is right before it came out, and they were giving out free passes to go see it in the movie in the theater, and I just wasn't. It's just, I don't know. It doesn't look like my type of thing, but yeah.
That's another Prime original
Mhm.
that I have. I did watch a Prime movie this week.
Oh yeah,
But yeah,
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Well, speaking of all the other homes of streaming, old Netflix is cracking down. Like this great graphic, ex sister-in-law cracking down on.
I can't take credit for that. I just found it.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, you can't. They're trying to crack down on sharing outside of the household, and they're going to charge a little bit extra per. So the charges are looking like roughly $3 per extra, I guess, person per household. So like if I'm sharing mine with you, which I'm not, Netflix, don't crack down on me. It'd be $3. But I don't understand. Is it $3 if you use it on per device you use it on outside of that? Because that would then charge me if I'm just like on the road or something and watching Netflix, because I take my Roku with me like on trips. So I'm wondering.
I would have to
Netflix.
imagine that it's a
Wow,
per user
Netflix.
account,
I guess
but
I am
who
good
knows?
that we pay for our own, Tony says. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I imagine this will probably be something that other streamers follow suit with, because everybody
Yeah.
does it.
Yeah, I mean it's the big joke, it's how a lot of people do it. Like, all right, your family pays for Hulu, and our
Yeah.
family will pay for Netflix, and so on
I
and so
mean,
forth.
and is they don't make it, until now, they're not making it hard to do. I don't, and they
Dave
allow you to
thinks it's
make
ludicrous.
extra accounts, and people are going to do that. So
I think this will blow up in their face a little bit. Their numbers have been rising lately. Their subscriber numbers. Uh, I do think this will blow up in their face eventually because they just upped their price as well. I'm not sure. It depends on what package you get, of course. I think the HD package is like $16 a month, roughly, and the 4K is $20 a month. And for a streaming service, that's pretty steep, you know. Whereas
yeah,
with Amazon, it's hard to get mad about that because you get all the other benefits with Prime, which is very smart.
yeah,
So totally get that. Um, Disney Plus is still very inexpensive in comparison, and Hulu Hulu's starting to rise into the ridiculous, but I mean, for what it is, I'll
I
say.
have to imagine that now that Disney Plus has parental
Oh,
controls,
it looks like Dave's going to be unsubscribing.
HBO Max. Yeah, well, we'll see, Dave. You have to imagine now that Disney Plus, I don't know if you heard about this, Al, but Disney just put basically the Marvel Netflix stuff like Punisher and Daredevil and those more mature shows on Disney Plus. And so they came up with some parental controls for accounts that you can do now to kind of remedy if you don't want your kids seeing the mature stuff. And they're already doing in other territories except for the US, they're already doing like they have that Star branch of Disney Plus that hosts the Fox stuff. And until now, they've kind of put all their Fox stuff on Hulu, or any of their mature stuff they've kind of pushed to Hulu. You have to think that with everybody's, subsidizing and combining things.
Mhm.
It's with this recent Discovery and Warner Brothers deal that's going through that got approved. They've said that they're going to combine Disney, not Disney, but Discovery Plus and HBO Max into one service,
Okay.
under a new name. So you have to think that they're probably going to do that with Hulu and Disney Plus.
Yeah, but
Probably
yeah,
keep the
but
Disney Plus banner or call it Disney something. I don't know.
yeah, they have ESPN Plus involved there too. So
Right. Yeah. I mean, they already offer the bundles, but
they have a pretty good carousel. I mean Paramount Plus. I'm tired. Can we call it something else besides Plus? Everything's something plus. Give me a break. I hate the word plus now.
there's only so many things. Plus, Max.
I've got it. They're sitting in a board meeting with their big fat cigars or vapes, I guess, now poking out of their mouths like, cupcakes. I've got it. We're going to call it Paramount Plus. Oh, you're a genius. You're a genius. How did you come up with this great idea?
Well, Disney keeps
Just give it
buying
to me.
everything, then they'll just call it everything. We have everything.
Just Disney will eventually just be called You'll Watch It and Like It, You Fat Slobs Plus. I mean, like, they're just here, eat this. They're kind of treating people like the dog, like, here, you'll eat this. Like, it's just I I I hope that we don't get down to like 3 companies, eventually. I have a feeling eventually we'll get to that, but
Yeah.
it's getting kind of ridiculous. But yeah, let's come up with some better names for these. Not call everything Plus. I mean, Apple TV Plus. I mean, for crying out loud.
Plus is definitely the most common one for sure, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Plus, Pro, Max, they're all, I mean, it's a lot of Googling synonyms.
Yeah, I mean, it's and then eventually they'll just start, somebody will name something, whatever, and then everybody will follow suit. It's just you can just feel the creativity leaving the, like, that's the thing. I guess that's my biggest argument nowadays is it feels like the creatives, and this has been for a while, for a good while, the creatives are no longer in charge of the creativity. And uh, did I just cause all fat slobs? No, I was saying that Paramount and Disney were saying that we as a whole are just fat plebes, slobs, and we'll do what they say and like it. Basically, they live. That's what we're getting to. So, um,
Wally.
Wally, yeah, I will say that's what it felt like at Disney. Let's talk about Disney for a while. so, so anyway, it did feel like I was in a reenactment of Wally while I was at Disney.
Thought you were going into Disney.
No,
Just
it
gonna
just
give you
felt
the
everybody
floor.
was in their little skeeter carts. Um, so anyway, I was surprised I didn't see like the Mickey Mouse mascot riding around in a little skeeter mobile. So whatever. All right. Well, let's get into some kind of neat news. Let's talk about so in the Batman, Something in the Way by Nirvana was used uh, since the release of the Batman. It has a 1,200% increase on Spotify. Good graphic, Brandon.
Yes. Now I did make this one.
Smart. You must be
I
on business.
actually cloned out that little wiener.
He might come after you in a lawsuit, that kid.
Yeah.
Dude, that was so embarrassing. He lost that lawsuit. It's like they were just like, get out of here.
He's got a Nevermind tattoo.
And he recreated it a couple times for like money.
Get out of here.
So they were like, yeah, don't get any more money. I'm guessing that's what happened. Love that song. It is a good song. Well, there's a story about this hoodie.
Al can he'll ship you his. One of a kind.
We can put it on our store. So the way that I got this is the guys, Brandon and Ryan, gave this to me. Was it Christmas that you gave this to me a couple years ago?
I think so.
And they said, Al, you can only have the one of these. We're not putting this on the store. So if you do want one, we'll be glad to put it on the store.
In all fairness, we didn't say that, but Al likes to joke around because he's self-deprecating like that. We couldn't put it on the store when we did it because we didn't want him to know that we were making it.
Right.
Because it was a Christmas gift.
Yeah. So. But the way Brandon gave it to me was funny. I was sitting on the couch at his house. And he just lobs it at me. Here, Merry Christmas. So, but I take that as a compliment, Big Blue. Thank you very much. It is a sharp looking sweatshirt.
Put it up. Put it up. Big Blue will be the first person you guys
Big
can
Blue.
They're twinsies.
Click our link tomorrow. We'll have it up there. How about that? We'll have it up there tomorrow. And if you do, take a picture of yourself when you get it and pop it on social and tag us, because to this point, nobody else owns this. And that's why I wear it all the time, because it's an original. So
original.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's a pretty good increase, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Nirvana doesn't really need a whole lot of help because it seems like people discover them every day, like a new breed of, like a new, not breed, but a new regime, if you will, of teenagers. It seems like Nirvana shirts are everywhere. I don't know if they actually listen to Nirvana or not.
You sell them at Target, you're bound to get a lot of people buying them.
I want a hoodie too. Tony, I'll have it up there tomorrow. And I tell you what, I will put a post on our Instagram tomorrow once it's up. Okay. Yeah. So,
and we can get you guys some promo codes for that, so that you can basically pay what we pay. So
we'll get you a little discount. That way you can join the cult of my sweatshirt. So, man, I feel vindicated.
Now, I would say go and watch some Criterion Corner before you make this purchase, just so you're okay with
I'm going to make a shirt about plastic bags. That's what I'm going to make a shirt about, plastic bags. All right. So we do have some movie news here in the realm of sequels. Dune 2. Villeneuve said that the script is mostly finished.
Mm-hmm.
That's good news, but I'll be honest with you, kind of thought this was already done. kind of thinking, let's get this Joker done.
It's not like you had to create it from scratch,
right?
And you've been, you knew this was coming,
yeah.
Or at least I would hope you were at least planning that it was coming, even if before it got greenlit for a second installment.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I mean, they said once it officially got greenlit the week after it came out, I think they said fall of this year would be the earliest that they could start production. So
Tony thought the same. Yeah, I and we'll get into this in a little while, but I did rewatch Dune, and you touched on this on Cape Cast of the night with a friend of ours, and he's not one that watches movies a whole lot, and he's a family man, and his name's Nate. So Nate was like blown away, which I mean, I think everybody, even if you are a heavy movie goer, you're still blown away by what Villeneuve is capable.
But to not have that desensitization,
he was
seeing
like
tons and tons of movies all the time.
He was going off of the old Dune movie. That's what his reference was. So he was like, whoa, this has changed. This is different.
Where are the boxes?
Oh my gosh. It was like watching you ever seen that movie with Alicia Silverstone and Christopher Walken, Blast from the Past, where they're locked down in a bunker and they come out to like New York City or whatever. I think Sissy Spacek's the mom, and is Brendan Fraser in that as well? So
seems like it. Yeah.
So anyway, it was kind of like that. It was kind of funny to watch. But he was jazzed, and he goes, so when's Dune 2? I was like, yeah, it's got a while, man. He was like, oh man, why don't they have it made already? Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I haven't seen either. You haven't seen either Dune? Oh man. I'm gonna have to say the new one is way better. I mean, Villeneuve just made it into an art piece. It's seriously one of those movies where you can screen grab any scene and print it out and put it on your wall. I mean, that's just the movie in general. But that's most of his movies. He is a true artiste. Um,
yeah.
the old one is fun to watch because of the camp factor. And it is kind of fun to see where they came from. But if you don't want to watch the entire old Dune movie,
And the first one, and I haven't seen it, but the first one covers the whole first book, right? It's not cut into
from
halves.
my recollection, it's been a long time, but it is campy. It's, I mean, I still can't believe it's David Lynch. So when I was a kid, I had the book with the audio cassette. Remember? Oh yeah, dude. I used to have those books where it's like beep, turn the page, where it would beep. It's like it reminds you, like, oh, I got to turn a page now. I used to think that was cool. That, and I loved. Did you ever read any of the Choose Your Own Adventure books? To where
I know about them, but I've never read one.
so I had a Batman Choose Your Own Adventure book at one time, and it was the most frustrating thing because you would get excited, and then it was like, for this angle, go to page 263, or for this angle, go to page 76.
Mhm.
And you were like, I just want to read the next piece. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's my
exactly how
favorite
I
thing.
feel when playing open world games. I don't want to make decisions. I want the story. I want a finite story to play through. I feel like I'm missing out if I make one decision over the other. And Netflix kind of took that approach too with a few of they did some experimental stuff
Yeah.
with and probably most famously the Black Mirror one that they
Yeah.
did.
That
But
show's
there's
a crazy show. That's one of the best things Netflix has done, though.
Yeah, I never watched it. I never watched anything from Black Mirror and not because I didn't want to.
Mhm.
It's on my list. Just
Never
haven't
had the
gotten around
choose
to
your
it.
own story. Oh man, it is not my favorite medium as far as stories, but I love reading books. I just don't like that styling of choose your own adventure because it's extremely frustrating. I am one of the people, and this is going to open a whole can of worms. So whatever, but I am one of the people that if the singer intended for a song to mean something, that's what the song means. That's what I believe, and I know a lot of people believe it's whatever you make it, man. And I've had many a conversation and debates with people about that. But so I like whenever a writer kind of takes you on an adventure. I don't need to do the work for them, you know. Although writing a few different angles for every single twist and turn in the book is probably a whole heck of a lot more work. So anyway,
I'm halfway with you there, and on the other side, I'm like, I still do like a lot of movies that are kind of open to interpretation, ending wise. Um, Nolan likes to do that. Fincher, a few other people. As far as what do you like Joker, for instance? Like, what do you think? Was it real? Was it what was
yeah,
it in his head? That kind of thing. Like, I like those types of things
I
that
like it
leave
sometimes.
you with something to think on.
uh,
Um,
There are some lazy versions of that. There are some of those, and I'm not going to say which ones because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. But there's some shows that have done that. There's some movies that have done that. Then I'm just like, what a cop out. And there
yeah,
was one
sometimes
show.
it can be. Yeah, it can be a cop out. It can undermine an entire series or movie. Um,
I like that too, Al. But sometimes art will take a life of its own. Um, Pearl Jam's Alice. Hey, I'm not. Oh, alive. Um, yeah, I think so. But I'm like a music history kind of nerd, especially if it's like the '90s alternative rock music, and I know a fair amount about hip hop, but those things I really do like. knowing where that person's head was at when they were writing that. And although I can't relate to them being, especially if they're drug related or whatever, I don't get that personally. But I do like understanding where they were coming from. So it is what it is. But hey, everybody likes something different and likes it for a different reason. I mean, for instance, some people like bat suits and some people don't. That's all I'm saying. So, all right, let's get into some trailers here. I will be honest with
One
you.
thing I did want to touch on news-wise that I thought was
Yes.
cool because I'm a fan of this movie is they are finally making a sequel to This Is 40, which is going to be called This Is 50.
Is
I enjoy
anybody
that
gonna care
movie.
about? Is anybody gonna care about this?
Me, I love that movie. It's fun. I relate to that movie. Many different angles. I wasn't 40 when I saw it, but still a
You're
lot to
still not
relate to.
40.
Yeah, it's true. Not 40 yet. But I love the cast, and I'm a sucker for Apatow, especially like this era of Apatow. So just wanted to bring that up because I know they had talked about this for a while. But I think Leslie Mann and Paul Rudd are a great 1-2 punch when it comes to these types of movies. And Eric Bana was really great in This Is 40, like surprisingly, really funny. Yeah, so I'm glad they're making a sequel.
I haven't seen the whole movie of This Is 40. Just wasn't my thing. Same thing with what was the pregnancy one that you did?
Knocked Up.
Yeah, didn't like that either. So just not my jam. Like I don't like super bad. I don't like
Yeah, see all those movies I love.
scatological humor. I think it's lowbrow. Well,
Hit me right in the heart there.
I'm just not trying to hit you in the heart. I'm just saying what I think. I don't know. I don't know. This might be one of those that. I mean, when was this? This Is 40 even released? It was like over 10 years ago, right?
You would think.
So
12, so yeah, 10 years ago.
Yeah, and I'm guessing this is going to go straight to Netflix or something.
It wouldn't surprise me, but that's where it should go. Honestly, it should go to a streaming service. That's where comedies are going, generally.
Yep. Yep. All right.
Are you going to get those sweet new Reebok Ghostbusters shoes?
No, those look ridiculous.
Are you not going to get them?
No.
Oh. Okay.
No.
Moving on.
I had some Reebok pumps when I was a kid. And I was in 6th grade and I had the David Robinson Reebok pumps. And those things came up about halfway up my shin. And they were so just big and bulky, but I loved them. I literally thought I could do more. And I would go around all day long. But the pump wasn't just it had like you had the little cartridge and you had to pump it up with a little gun and then it was you had to carry this thing around in order to pump them up. And my mom and dad were just like, you don't need to take it to school. I was like, but I gotta pump up my shoes.
I love the Robin Hood Men in Tights bit. Chappelle has those pumps. He's like, hang on a second.
Yeah.
You got to get some air. He pumps up his shoes.
That movie's great. My favorite part of that movie is when Lil Jon thinks he's drowning. I'm drowning. Tony asked if I could jump higher with them on. Of course. What didn't I'm guessing what didn't I like about I walked out of the theater super bad. I didn't think it was funny. I walked out in the scene where they're dancing and the blood was on the guy's leg. So that's where I saw
Great
to.
scene.
Great. I don't think it's fun. I just think it's simple humor. So it's just not my thing. So I didn't want to do that. I had the Nike. Oh, it must have been Nike then, Dave. I'll take you up on that. I thought they were Reebok just because I thought Reebok had them all, but they must have been Nike. But they were David Robinson pumps, and they were huge. And then I wanted the Shaq shoes. Oh my gosh, I wanted the Shaq shoes so bad. And my
The
mom and
zebra
dad were
ones.
I just I think they were black with purple Shaq hanging on his little logo. I think
He had some like rounded black and white stripe ones that I had.
I had some Jordans. I had the original North Carolina Jordans and the original Jordans with the patent leather or vinyl on the sides, black and white. And then I had the North Carolina ones of those as well. So I had them all. And what I did as a kid, I was like, well, I'm going to save these. They'll be worth money one day. And my parents was like, oh my God, we just spent all this money on these shoes and this kid's not even going to wear them. Like I was going to wear them to school and stuff. They're going to be my school shoes. And I wore them like twice and then I put them in the box and I was like, all right, I'm going to save these. I go back home as an adult and my dad's like, yeah, I took those to Goodwill. And now they're like worth like thousands of dollars. I had the Matumbos too. I don't remember the Matumbos, but I'm sure they were interesting. No.
I had the Shaq ones that I mentioned, and then Scottie Pippen had some Nike Airs that had the Air, like big letters on the side, just said Air. I had those.
Yeah. Remember the good old days of shoes?
Used to like sports.
Yeah.
And I grew up.
I used to be hip and cool. Now I just wear orthopedics with Velcro. Just kidding.
Crocs.
Yeah, I'm not a Crocs guy. Although we do know somebody that loves Crocs. Yeah, had supposedly his tribe's colors on the shield. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. I do appreciate how they used to do that. I do also Brandon Pippins.
Yep.
Yeah, it's. Do you remember when Scottie Pippen shaved his head and it was all raisin, like wrinkly underneath his hair? And everybody's like, "No, grow your hair back out. Stop that." Oh man, the good old days. Am I right?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some trailers here. We got Tokyo Vice. This is Michael Mann.
Yes, sir.
This looks like it could be good. Has potential. I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
HBO Max.
Yeah.
Well, I like Michael Mann. And he also did Miami Vice, right? This is
Honestly can't
not
remember.
necessarily connected, but has the word Vice in it.
So it's got to be the same thing. It's a continuation. Crockett and Tubbs out there in Tokyo.
Yeah. The trailer looked pretty good. I like both of the leads.
This is a series, right?
It is a series, yeah. Ken Watanabe and Ansel Elgort. I've only seen Ansel Elgort in Baby Driver, I think, but he was good in that.
He was in, hang on, he was in something else. Oh, for crying out loud.
I get him mixed up with the kid that was in Ready Player One. They have a very similar look to them.
Generic white kid.
Yeah, I guess.
with big lips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really good. And like I said, I like Michael Mann. Having recently just watched Heat for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely interested. More so because Michael Mann hasn't really done much lately on the directing front that I know of. I haven't heard of him doing much if he has. So
here's a little tidbit for you on Ansel what's his name? Ansel Elgort.
Mm-hmm.
He's also a rapper and a DJ under the name of Ansolo.
Ansolo.
No, not the H. Remove the H, and then you've got it.
Got it.
So watch out, Spotify. Now that we've said it, those numbers will go up 1,200%. So you're welcome, Elgort, for your career. We helped you. All right. So you have Puss in Boots, The Last Wish.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't watch the trailer.
I
Put it on
don't
here to watch it.
care. No.
Well, I have a reason to watch these trailers because I always bookmark them and show Luna if there's anything animated that pops up. I just never got around to it. I do own this original Puss in Boots, all the Shrek stuff I own, and I enjoy them. So I think it's funny. Now I own, like, having watched Shrek 2, 3, 4 so many times, even before Luna and after Luna. Antonio Banderas' voice, I just think Puss in Boots.
CiNEMACHiNE bump.
Yeah.
Design.
So if you did watch this trailer, let us know how it was. I did see a few people posting that it looked good, considering. So they've had like Puss in Boots Netflix original stuff since he's been in Shrek, but this will be the second installment theatrically. But they're fun little movies if you have kids.
Well, I am fine with the. How many Shrek movies were there? 4, 5, 17? I don't even know. But the spinoffs and stuff like that, I don't need to watch. I'm okay with Shrek. Some of it's pretty good. I was forced to go see the musical twice. 2 different productions, and
Seen the
it was pretty good.
Filmed version of the musical.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I actually saw a high school production of the musical, and they had to like buy the rights to it and all of that. It was like a big production, like a lot of money was put into it, and it was very well done, I have to admit. So
yeah, that first Shrek is really great, and the other ones are fine,
serviceable.
But yeah, first one has a spot in my heart.
Well, that's good, Brandon. Then we have one more movie, The Pentavarite, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Mike Myers.
Mike Myers. This is a series on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. What'd you think about this?
Well, I was excited when I saw that he was back and he was doing a multi-character type project.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really find this trailer funny.
Yeah.
But this doesn't mean I won't watch it. It's like a secret society type story. But yeah, I hope it's funny. I know you don't like Austin Powers, do you?
I really like the first one. I despise the other ones.
Yeah.
I don't know. I tried to rewatch the first one in the last couple years, and it just didn't hold up for me.
Yeah, I don't know if they would hold up now going back. Well, I don't know. Maybe because I liked them so much when I was younger, and it's kind of like going back and watching Adam Sandler movies or something. Like, I would still have that nostalgia for them and enjoy them. But I
Wayne's
like
World
all
holds
three.
up. Wayne's World holds up. I don't care who you are. Those movies are hilarious. But yeah, I really hated what was the third one? Goldmember or whatever. Is that the one Beyonce?
Mhm.
Oh, that movie. But I saw the original. So Austin Powers didn't get popular until it hit home video.
Home video. Yeah.
And a buddy of mine and I were like, we were kids, we were like teenagers. So we were like, all right, let's just go see a movie. And we'll go see this Austin Powers thing. And we were literally the only people in there. And we went to go see it, and we laughed so hard. And we were telling everybody about it. And everybody's telling us we were stupid so we went and saw it twice. Like a second time and another time. And then it hit home video, and everybody then turned to us and said, "Have you seen this Austin Powers? Like, we've been telling you about that for months." And then by the time that they got around to making a part 2, which they wouldn't have made a part 2 if it weren't for home video, I get it. But by the time they got around to making a part 2, that's when the studios were like, all right, now we got to make it our thing. We got to change it around. And I don't know. It just kind of lost its the the jokes weren't as solid as the first one, in my opinion. And the friend of mine that went to see that with me, he kind of agreed. We're just like, this isn't the same thing. So, and then the third one was just pretty bad, pretty bad. And I don't know, not my jam. But it's so funny. Like you go back and watch stuff like that, broad comedies like that. Um, Wayne's World. They always kind of hint at, oh, would they do another one or whatever. I really don't want them to do another one. I do and I don't because I really enjoyed the Bill and Ted sequel,
Yeah.
based the music. Um, but it's not anywhere near as good as the originals. And it's one of those things that's sad now because you got to watch your characters a little slower because they're older, and if they don't write that into the movie, it really doesn't work.
Yeah.
Wedding Singer still stands the test of time. Yeah, I can see that. I haven't watched that in a while. I would say Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore still stand up without uh, too much nostalgia attached to it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, they probably would for us. I just wonder. It's hard to know gauging today's since well, like a kid nowadays that would see that movie the age that we saw it at.
I don't know if they'd be
People,
allowed nowadays because most kids aren't allowed to see stuff at the age I was allowed to see stuff.
well, a normal kid.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason my therapist quit. So, yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
We'll see about this one. I mean, I'm excited to see Mike Myers doing something. I think. I'm trying to think of the last thing besides like these like Super Bowl commercials, like Wayne's World or any of those type things. I know that
He was in Inglourious Bastards.
yeah, that's the last one that I can think of. But I know he did.
And they did that
else.
commercial for the Super Bowl, Wayne's World.
Yeah, he have another little small bit part in some other.
Maybe.
There's a. I don't know. I'll have to look it up, but
I don't know. He just kind of felt like I think doing the Cat in the Hat movies and stuff like that is what kind of kicked him out of Hollywood for a little while.
Bohemian Rhapsody. That's what it was.
Oh, was he? I haven't seen that.
Small little part in that.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that.
So, anyway, so that's all the trailers that we have this week. So
fantastic.
This would have been the one that Ryan could have maybe actually watched them because there are only 3. He probably still wouldn't have, but you
know. Brandon, what have you been watching this week?
I have a few things. I mentioned this last week. Still watching Ozark. I finished Ozark.
You still hate watching it?
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm caught up on it, honestly. And it's not that the show's bad. It just, like I said, I think it's some of the character beats that they decided to go with. Some of the characters just became super annoying, and some of like one of the kid, the boy in the show, he forgot how to act. He grew up, his voice changed, and I don't know. He was.
That happens with a lot of sitcom kids as well. Really good actors as kids, and then they're just like, I guess they're trying to be cool or something because they finally. I don't know what it is, but they realize what's happening finally. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's like one of the lower criticisms, but it was something that was glaring for this season. But no, it was fine. Ryan was talking really highly about the finale, and I can understand why people would have been high on it, but it was like 5 minutes, and I was like, okay, that's a good performance. I can see it, but I just was I'm already checked out by the time Melissa wanted to start inventing Anna after this, which stars the same girl that one of the same girls that's in this, and I was like, I think I need a break from people in this show.
I saw the trailer for that show, and again, I've not watched Ozark. I want to make that clear. But to be honest with you, I didn't see the appeal of that little girl as much as everybody makes a big deal out of her. I think she's supposed to have a Southern accent in that movie or something.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work. I was like, so again, doesn't matter, but I just didn't understand what the big deal was around all of that. So
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever end up watching Ozark. I don't. It's not that I think it's a bad show or whatever. It's not that I wasn't interested at one time. I just don't. I don't care anymore about it. I've moved on to other things. It's that kind of thing. Like it just got lost in my watching other things. I'll be happy to see Ozark end. I've enjoyed it, but it has declined over the last few seasons.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I feel, honestly. It's still, I like a lot of the characters. I think Wendy, the wife of why can't I think this? Gosh, Jason
Just Bateman,
Gosh. Yeah.
who plays the wife.
Actress, blonde. I don't know.
Laura Linney.
Yeah.
Laura Linney's great.
She is great,
great
but
actress.
they have this last half of a season, they've made her so unlikable, and she's such a bitch to her family. Like, it's such a drastic departure of what she's been. They're trying to harden her, I guess. I don't know, but it's so unnatural for her character.
Mm-hmm. If you want to see one of the best performances from her, like this is where I was introduced to her. It's a movie with she and Mark Ruffalo. And it's called You Can Count on Me. That is it's just a simple drama. I think they're brother and sister. Yeah, they're brother and sister in the movie. It's been a long time since I've seen this. But it is one of the better movies I've seen in the last bunch of years. I don't even remember when that was. It was released early 2000s, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe 2000. I don't know. But that's a really good movie. I highly suggest that movie if anybody wants to go out and watch it. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Here, I'll find out if it's streaming anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the first couple seasons she was great, but the character arc that they had for her in season 3 and this half of season 4, I don't know, didn't work for me. But yeah, so
it is streaming on Showtime and Max Go, but you can rent it for $3.99 on Apple TV or most places for $3. So, highly suggest You Can Count on Me. Tony, that's one that I would own if I were you. Just to let you know.
He probably does.
Maybe
multiple copies.
Maybe. Well, that's cool. So you're finished with it now.
I'm caught up. They cut this last season in half, so it's 7 episodes, and I think 7 more.
When's that supposed to happen?
I want to say it's like April or May or June, somewhere in the spring. So I do want to finish. I want to.
You Can Count on Me only has a DVD release. I feel your pain, man.
There you go. He would know. So we will tune in and finish it because I do want to see the story, see how they wrap it up. But anyway, and then I mentioned that we watched an Amazon original. We watched I Want You Back.
Mm-hmm. I liked the both of them, but
I did too.
Didn't appeal to me.
It's also got Scott Eastwood and Rodriguez. What's her first name? The girl you don't like from Annihilation.
I don't even remember.
Anyway, but yeah, Charlie Day and
Jenny Slate.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Names. Money, please. That's what I think. I think her.
Perfect as that character, by the way.
Yeah. This is true. But yeah, this is a fine movie. It's it's one of those things where.
Well, look when it came out, February 11th. It was a Valentine's release, so that's what it was palatable for that.
Yeah, it's also an R-rated comedy, but in the age of wokeness, it just comes across like they're scared to do anything that's too offensive, and so it's all a bunch of sex humor. Mm-hmm. And so at the end of the day, it was kind of, it's fine.
It's not something funny. You'll remember in a year.
No.
Or even a month.
It was, so Melissa and I had a stay home date night, and I was like, all right, she's like, give me 3 or 4 options, things we can watch. I was like, okay.
Zack Snyder, Man of
Well,
Steel.
I keep a tally of things that I want to watch that I know she won't want to watch, and also things that I want to watch that I think she'll be into. And so I had Nightmare Alley on there. I had what else did I have? I think I put Fresh on there because it just released that weekend.
Okay.
I put something else on there. Anyway, and then I was like,
Titan.
no. And then I knew this one. I was like, if I put this one on here, she's gonna pick it. I don't really want to watch it. Like, I like these people just fine, but I don't think I think it's gonna fall pretty flat for me.
Yeah.
But I know she'll probably enjoy it, and so I was like, all right, I'm gonna put it on there, and I did. She's like, let's watch that one. I was like, okay, we will.
You the boss.
So we watched it, and then after we finished that, we watched this.
No, that's a good movie. Return to Me is a good movie.
You should have came over and watched it with her, because
that's a good movie.
It's fine.
I like what's her name? It's not Minnie Driver. Sissy no, it's not Sissy Spacek. Sissy Spacek's old redhead.
She's got one of those names though, right? It's like one of those like.
Is it Minnie Driver?
Yeah, Minnie Driver. Driver. Sissy Spacek, Minnie Driver. They're like, it's like.
If you want to see a good movie with Minnie Driver in it, watch Gross Point Blank. One of the funniest movies I've ever seen. It's John Cusack in his heyday, right in the same realm of, all the main adult, John Cusack when he's an adult, like romantic comedy kind of movies. That movie's hilarious. Yeah. So
we watched this. I begrudgingly watched it because we actually had already started it a few weeks before. She was watching it by herself. I walked in and sat down with her.
Tony's right there with us. Yeah.
It's a fine movie. It's dated. It's of its time. It feels like it was made in the late 90s. I don't know when it was, but it's an older movie. Melissa watched this movie a lot when she was a kid, so she wanted to watch it again. So, it's it's directed by
a person made by some other people.
She's in this movie. She's in Jumanji and Beethoven. What's her name?
Are you talking about oh shoot, starts with a B. Bonnie Hunt. Yeah. So she directed it. She's also. I used to have a crush on Bonnie Hunt when I was a kid, like when she was a lot younger. Like, I don't know why. I just thought she was really funny. She had a sitcom for a while. She was really funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good story. It's just one of those things where it feels like they have a lot of like filler stuff in it. A lot of stuff with like the old guys that stay.
I'll have this was released in the 2000s.
Okay.
2000 exactly.
Right. Okay.
On Hulu if anybody wants to watch it.
Yeah. I think it's also on HBO Max.
Untamed Heart is another one you should check out with Christian Slater and Marissa Tomei. That is a good movie. And that was around the same time they came out with the what was the movie with Johnny Depp where he does the dancing with the little eclairs on the forks or whatever that oh shoot.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
No, it was
Edward
Benny and June. Benny and June, I think is the name of the movie. And those movies were very similar in their trailer. I'll say that much. But they're not the same movie at all.
Yeah.
Now it's romantic comedy talk. Oh my gosh.
I know, right?
So excited. I love them.
Yeah. It was I mean, it was fine. It was just one of those things where like after we had watched the first half and Melissa got sleepy and then she wanted to finish it this night.
You're like, I gotta watch this for
I was like,
days.
I know how it's gonna end. Like, I know beat for beat what the story is. I don't need to see it. And she's like, I want you to watch it. I watch all this stuff with you. I was like, all right.
Oh, she got you.
I'll watch it with you. So yeah. But yeah, it's just a little dated. That's it. It's not something.
Yeah, the Nora Ephron movies are very good. The majority of them, not all of them. The ones that she wrote, the Harry Met Sally's and such. So when Harry Met Sally and such.
Word. I have a few more to kind of go through, so I'll be quick. But I saw Turning Red, and I didn't see the comment. What was it?
It was, "What's up, guys? I just got done with training. Did I miss most of the show?" It's okay. We're glad to have you. And what kind of training are you doing?
Yeah,
So
let us know.
Talk about Turning Red.
Yeah, Turning Red. We watched this. It was a Disney Plus Pixar movie that came out last weekend. Watched it with some friends and their kids that came over.
Mm-hmm.
It was another one of those.
It's about puberty.
Yeah, it's about puberty.
And her first going red.
Some awkward conversations.
Yep.
Or questions, I guess, that we just kind of, because my kid's almost 8. She's not, this girl's like 14 in this movie. So they were like, what's gyrating mean? I was like, and the guy who's the parent of the girl that asked, he's our preacher, and he's like, it means dancing.
Tony has watched this, and he right before tonight.
Oh, nice.
And so let us know what you thought. And also, Henry Boy, MMA training. Wow. Awesome, man.
A frequent guest we have on the CiNEMACHiNE network, so to speak. Chris, you may have seen him on here. He's a big MMA. He trains as well.
Mm-hmm. Jiu-jitsu. Everything. He's a tough guy.
He actually doesn't. Not yet, but soon enough. Rite of passage.
Pelvis thrust, Dave says.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that obviously go over kids' heads that's a little more coming of age stuff.
My sister said she started watching this with my 6-year-old nephew, her youngest son.
Yeah.
And immediately was like, nope, nope. She's just like, but I told them when we were at Disney, I had heard that this was what this movie was going to be about, So I told my sisters, both of them, they each have 2 children. And I said, this is what this movie's about. Just be warned. And they were like, yeah, we're not watching that. So my sister still went into it. And she was like, Al was right. Al wasn't lying about this movie.
I mean, it's one of the, I didn't find it offensive, even watching it with my kid. But it's gotten like a few people have made comments and even gotten flack for saying that they couldn't relate to it, because it's very much a female-centric story. I mean, it's about a girl going through puberty, and it's not something that I can relate to on that angle. The story itself, though, it was a fine story, and it was like, I love any kind of animated movie. I love Pixar animation, particularly. Like, I just think they're the best when it comes to animation. So, and they always have, they're gonna, try and make you cry in every movie that they do, and they try that. I didn't have those moments. Maybe if you're like, it's a very much a father-daughter story. I preferred the father, or not father. It's a mother-daughter story. I very much preferred the mother-daughter story that they did with Brave over this. A little more up my alley, but this is still fine. It's just not their best effort for me. And then we also watched another streaming original, Netflix original, The Adam Project, with Ron Reynolds, as well as Jennifer Garner and Mark Ruffalo, amongst others. And I really enjoyed this. I think the first half is a lot stronger than the second half. It's a Sean Levy directed movie, and I talked about him like last week or the week before when we watched Free Guy. And I've also mentioned that he did Real Steel, which
please no spoilers. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't spoil it. But it's good. Also kind of has those heartfelt moments. If you've seen the trailer, you know what the story is. So it's kind of rough for that kind of stuff. The kid that plays young Ryan Reynolds, I thought was very much tapped into the Ryan Reynolds-ness. Some people I've seen found that annoying because it's Ryan Reynolds, but in a kid form. But I thought watching his performance, like, it really felt like he could be the kid version of Ron Reynolds,
Mm.
if he had that same sense of humor when he was a kid.
Mm.
So I thought that was good casting. The director, he used the same casting director as Stranger Things on this one, and they looked at like 300 plus kids. He said,
Good Lord.
and came down to this guy, and I think they picked the right guy. Yeah, it's good. Like I said, first half stronger than the second half, and it's like a combination of a lot of different types of movies, which is kind of what studios are doing. But I really like this combo with Sean Levy directing, Ryan Reynolds. I think they work well together, and they announced the day that this came out that they're doing Deadpool 3 together. So that's cool.
If Deadpool had a boy, he would play him perfect.
Yeah, it's true. So the only like weakness in terms of casting, and you probably know, I know this actress by her face, but I don't know what
without a face.
don't remember what I've seen her in. Catherine Keener. What is she from?
Catherine Keener. She's in
Yeah.
4-Year-Old Virgin, and I mean she's in a lot of indie movies. Like she's in being John Malkovich, and she's in a ton of stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
But she's a good actress.
She seemed very miscast in this movie. She plays the villain. I don't think that's a spoiler, but she's the villain in the movie.
Well, there you go, guys. That's it.
That's not. I mean, there's a villain in the movie.
Everybody dies.
I just didn't buy her as a villain,
like
personally. But
did you buy her more or less? There's
our
Mr.
MMA
Jiu-Jitsu.
friend.
Yeah. What's up, Chris?
We were talking about you earlier, Chris.
So yeah, Brandon spoiled it, so all the hate mail can go to Brandon Duncan at
CiNEMACHiNE dot
complaintdepartment.com
.pdf.
So did you watch anything else? Seems like you guys watched quite a bit. Yeah, I've been watching. Duh. Thanks,
hey,
Chris.
boy.
Thanks for the watch.
Thanks, man. Chris has got to come back on the show. It's been so long. I haven't seen him in person or on the show, so I need to see you again, Chris. Come on, come see us. No, that was it. That's all I've.
About a kiss.
I know that was a lot, so sorry for going long, but this was one of those weeks where I just watched a lot of stuff. It's crazy. I know.
I just rewatched a couple things, and there's not really any point in me rehashing a lot of it. I'll talk about Dune briefly. We watched that at my house. You, myself, and Nate. We talked about it. Nate was blown away. My second time watching it, I still really enjoyed this movie. And that was my second time.
You're on Blu-ray or 4K. I don't know which one you watched.
It was Blu-ray because I got that special Walmart edition. I haven't purchased the 4K yet. So anyway,
that was your first time watching it
since the theater,
right?
And still really enjoyed it. It was fun to watch somebody else watch it for the first time.
You know what's funny? Is because I watched some of it with y'all. And whenever Oscar Isaac's character is talking to Paul out there, like after they've decided that they're going to go to Arrakis.
Dad talk.
When he gives the dad talk and he's like, you'll be the only thing I've ever needed you to be, my son. I was waiting for Nate's reaction after he said that, because I knew Nate was going to have this
Nate's like the nicest guy in the world. He's genuinely just super nice.
Yeah.
So
it's a great moment, and I knew that because I know, having been around Nate some, I know that he's like really into family, and he's like got a big heart on him, and so I knew that was going to resonate, because it resonates with me. So
he was like, "Oh man, that's good."
Yeah." He audibly exclaimed.
He exclaimed a couple times during the movie, and it was funny because his wife called in the middle of the movie, and he's like, he took the call, and she's like, "I forgot how to work the remote control," and da da da. and he's talking her through it and everything. He's being very patient, but he's wanting to watch the movie. And he hangs up the phone, and then she calls back, and he's like, like he wants to help his wife, but because we had just hit play, and then we immediately had to hit. He's like, So the guy that he is, he helped his wife, of course, and he's like, why do they just forget how to use the remote in the middle of this movie? And I was like, yep, that's how it goes, buddy.
That's how it goes.
Anyway, but no, he really enjoyed it. It was fun to watch again. And so yeah, I can't wait. I'm building my surround sound system right now. I just have the Arc, the Sonos Arc. I got to get the subwoofer back. I stupidly had returned the subwoofer at one point, and they're like one of the hardest things to find, and then they went up $100. So it's like, oh, stupid. So but it was right when I was moving into the house, and I was like, well, I need other stuff besides just a subwoofer. So and then this week I bought a guitar, so I'm not going to be getting anytime soon. So watched that, and then I went to the theater with a friend of mine who hadn't seen Batman yet, and it was a relatively cold day in Atlanta, so he wanted to be inside for sure. So we went to go see the Batman on Saturday, and I will say this: I'm going to talk more about the theater experience than I am the movie. But I will say this:
People
as
are
the
probably
movie was
relieved that
starting,
we're not talking about the Batman and the movie itself anymore. I think we've talked enough about it.
at the beginning of the movie, I was like, God, I don't want to sit through this 3-hour movie. I just didn't want to sit through a 3-hour that 3 hours of a movie. Yeah, so I'll talk about the theater experience. So there's people behind us that brought canned drinks and candy and chips and stuff like that from home, which whatever you want to do. But they open their drink and they crinkle their can a lot, and their drinks smelled like they were real like fruity smelling, and it was just like, oh my god, and it was just overwhelming. But they were trying to be polite. It was like they weren't trying to make the noise. They were trying to actually not make the noise, which makes the noise louder. Everybody knows. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to say anything because they're trying to be polite about it. You could tell they were putting down their drink really soft and everything. About 2 hours, 15 minutes into the movie, one of them decided, I've got an idea. I'm going to smack some gum. And I can't stand smacking. If you think I hate clapping at movies, smacking period is my least favorite thing in the world. It's the dumbest thing anybody can do, in my opinion. Like I have like murderous thoughts in my brain when somebody starts smacking. And I've spoken to your wife about this, and she has the same. So,
This is essentially you and Melissa when someone smacks.
I am untethered. My rage knows no bounds.
there's far too little blood in that clip so this person starts smacking and blowing bubbles and snapping the gum and all of that. I'm talking about left and right. It's like, oh my god. So for like what felt like an eternity, which was like 30 seconds, I took it. And I was like, excuse me, could you please stop smacking, for crying out loud? I was just like, all that rage from the cans, everything. But I said it as polite as I possibly could. So the Batman show I went to, family was being loud with their snacks. Seriously, why are we still trying this experiment in the year 2022 with the loudest foods in the quietest environment? I don't get it. I don't get it. Stop it. Still no clapping. Still no clapping at this showing, which I was very happy about. I did scoot out of there because I just knew those people were going to throw gum in my hair. So I just got out of there. But one of their friends was like, dude, don't chew any more gum. Like they're very polite. I will say this. They were very polite young people. Like it was like, I'm guessing they were teenagers. They could have been early 20s, but it was a gaggle of them. It was a few of them, and they were trying so hard to be polite. And I do think it's rude to smack, and I don't think it's rude to ask somebody to please stop smacking. I did not yell. I just asked nicely. And as soon as the police took the handcuffs off, I was fine. No, I'm just kidding. So tell us about the murderous
think
thoughts.
Dave is your new therapist.
Yeah,
Elaborate on
you
that.
just it's like this reverberating sound in my head, and I just want really bad things to happen to people when they're smacking, because I think it's extremely rude when people smack. Keep your mouth shut when you chew. That's all you have to do. Just stop with all the mouth noises. Another thing that drives me crazy is when somebody is talking and they obviously haven't had enough to drink, like their saliva is like in the back of their mouth. That drives me crazy. So, anyway, I'm not alone in this. Did the person who went with you crawl under the seat when you did that? No. As a matter of fact, my buddy Paul is one of those people. He tunes out everything in the world. First off, he said, I didn't even realize they cursed in the movie, because I said, what'd you think about cursing in a Batman movie? And he's like, oh, they cursed? I didn't even notice. And then second was, I was like, yeah, I didn't want to have to say anything. I was really trying not to say anything about the smacking, but I had to. He goes, I didn't even hear you say anything. And I said it in his direction looking up. Again, I did not yell. But Brandon has been in a movie theater with me when I did get untethered. so,
True.
But it was warranted. So I'm not a bad guy. It's just I want order. So anyway. All right. We have a few movies. I will say this. At the end of the movie, I am glad not seeing this movie for a very long time, to be honest with you. I was fine after the first time not seeing it for a long time, but I'm very much so okay not seeing this movie for a very long time. I really don't like the ending of this movie, the Batman. I'll say that now. I didn't like it the first go round, but I really dislike it now. Just they could have chosen to do a lot of different things, and the Riddler really kind of grind my nerves a lot more this go around. So, okay. So we got a couple movies coming out this week. We have
not as big as previous weeks in terms of huge movies, but I'm sure that a lot of people are just trying to stay away from the Batman. But some streaming exclusive movies, Cheaper by the Dozen, the Disney Plus rebooted version, as well as Deepwater. That's the Ana de Armas and Ben Affleck. We talked about the trailer like last week or a week before.
Yeah, relatively soon, recent.
Yeah, so I think we were both like, this could be good, but it could go either way.
A mom movie is what we kind of said. So
yeah, well, it's a movie that I could see. Like we're like this weekend, we have a double date night with my brother and sister-in-law, and so I'm like, if this movie gets reviewed decently, we may watch this.
Yeah, I mean,
because I know that they'll probably like it.
At least you get to watch Ben Affleck
and Ana de Armas.
I think it's just Ben Affleck for you.
Okay. And then X. I think we talked about that trailer as well. That movie actually looks, but I think it's limited. But still, I wanted to put it on here because it is a movie that
I'm going to try to see this weekend. I haven't even looked to see if it's playing anywhere near me, which I would imagine. I live in a college town, so I would imagine it's playing near here. Seems like that is the audience. I'm going to try to see it, and I'll do a review on it if I am able to see it.
Yeah, it looks good. I definitely do want to see it. I just don't know if it's going to be. I think it said limited, so may just be Atlanta, maybe the closest.
Joe just never know. But Tony wants to see it. Tony, let's do this thing, man. Let's go see it.
Road trip.
I'll come out to your neck of the woods. I'll spend the $465 it takes to drive anywhere now.
Yeah, probably fly out there for cheaper.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a bus. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm not even getting into it. All right, you want to tell everybody how they can find us again?
Yeah. So once again, you can find everything that's CiNEMACHiNE related at cinemachinepod.com. Links to the different channels as well as social platforms that we're on. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when we're streaming, and feel free to drop us a comment on any of the videos. If you weren't here live and you want to comment, drop us a comment. We try to respond to everything that comes up. But yeah, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and we are also on the Patreon. If you feel inclined to give us some monies, we appreciate the ones that already do, and any that want to. We appreciate that as well. Appreciate everybody tuning in, commenting. It's always good to see the regs and the new people that pop in and out. So
Yeah, and
doing
thanks
that.
for complimenting my sweatshirt.
I made a note about the Criterion shirts, so we'll get on it tomorrow. So
we'll add it.
If you're for cereal interested,
we'll throw it up on social media as soon as it's available, and we'll make sure that we do give a little code. That was a good plan there, Brandon, to give the code. We don't want to rob everybody. So
yeah, it's already expensive enough going through third party, having to make, because we don't keep stuff. It's all print on demand. So
yeah,
we get it to as cheap as possible.
We just appreciate people wearing our crap. Like that's payment enough for us. So this is a very comfortable sweatshirt. I'll tell you that much. I wear it every single week, I think. So I maybe have missed like 2 weeks since I've got it. So, but it's very comfortable. It's a simple sweatshirt, but it gets the job done. So I like it. All right, everybody. Thanks again for watching. Had a great time. Tell us what you've been watching. Tell us what you're thinking of watching. Also, tell us if we should be watching things that we haven't watched, and we'll be glad to test that out. We are going to be changing the format a little bit here and there. We're going to be playing with the format a little bit here and there, maybe tightening up the length of the show, and also doing some more recorded videos. Be sure to go out and watch Ryan's epic unboxing of the Justice League 75 record box set from Mondo. He did a really good job on it. Don't tell him we said so. And but do out and watch it, because he did take the time out, and it's in black and white, slow mo. It's very
see his hands a lot. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. If you like hands, it's right there for you. So but thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you all on the next CiNEMACHiNE.